How's it going, guys? It's your boy, official Chris MB, CMB, whatever the frick you want to call me. Today, we're back at it again. I'm just here. I want to talk about just what it's been like to be unemployed and employed. It's it's just like it's just too many different experiences. I always see it online and stuff like that. Also, I have a camera now, camcorder, like handheld and everything, man. It's pretty nice. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the quality, I guess. um. So yeah, I'm looking at my computer screen to see how I am. So yeah, I should look more at the camera. Anyways, I'll try. So first, I just want to talk about my work history real quick, and then we'll hit into my unemployment history. Uh, Obviously, while looking for work, I would be unemployed and stuff, and everything. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's get to it. So, obviously, my first ever job was a McDonald's, literally walking distance from my house right now. I am moving, so not really gonna be walking distance anymore. And anyways, it was all right. I only worked just for credit, so I can graduate high school. So I just work credit stuff, you know what I mean? I only worked there for like 2 months max, I think. It's been a long time. And you know, obviously he did everything from, well, not everything. I did the fries and, drop them, scoop them up. I also worked the register, the front and the drive through. You know what I mean? I also packed the food up, obviously, filled up the drinks, and gave them out, You guys heard some stories, some nice few stories. No, just there was only one story time actually from that place, which with the racist old lady, I guess. But it wasn't that eventful. And the only crazy thing, I guess, besides the old lady, which I didn't even hear from my boss, my manager heard it anyways. So yeah, I didn't care. But was Thanksgiving. A lot of people love to eat McDonald's on Thanksgiving. Let me tell you that. So anyways, that was my McDonald's. I quit and went the rest of my senior year, just like the last few weeks. Yeah, just well, no, yeah, a few weeks or a few months, I guess, until my graduation. Yeah, so I didn't work there no more. After it was like towards winter break. Yeah, it was like basically winter break by the time it was heading towards my second semester. So yeah, never mind. Yeah. But I worked there for only that long. So went all the way from that winter break all the way to graduation. So wait, summer break without working. So like long period without work. But again, like I was still in school. You know what I mean? It didn't really bother me that much. But obviously after, what I mean, I just wanted to relax. But since I got my at the time girlfriend, now fiance, you guys hear me talk about sometimes. I had her come over, so I kind of had to start working to provide for both of us. Um, I'm still living with my parents, obviously. You know what I mean? Because especially if you look at the market right now when it comes to prices, it's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, after that, I think it was in September is when I started working with my mom and the older sister as a janitor. I'm not gonna say the company or anything, but I worked as a janitor, so I was it was with buses, the city buses too. I worked in the building where they fixed them up, so I was cleaning up oil and all that. uh, and it wasn't that eventful. Like I've told story times about a bunch of my different jobs, and obviously this is the one job where I haven't told anything because it literally wasn't eventful at all. It was just I was just a janitor. There was nothing too eventful going on there. So worked there for from September all the way to basically March of the next year. So in a few months. I don't can't right now. But obviously that was the longest job I worked at the time. And then there's some jobs that obviously I didn't include. For instance, there's a I joined the pyramid scheme, so I didn't go far. I only did like 1 week because it was commission only. But besides cold calling and all that, I had to find my own customers. You know what I mean? So like friends, family. You know what I mean? Try to get out there and do all that. Which honestly, dude, just hand me the numbers if I was gonna do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I only lasted a week. No one wanted to get anything from me. You know. That was it with that place. They fired me after that 1 week. Uh, After that, I kind of struggled to find work. Lots of applying to jobs and job interviews and not getting them. So just a bunch of that. But then I found another place, which I'm also not gonna say because it's a pizzeria. But anyways, they were opening their first location here in the state I'm in, and it's it was new. It was the only one here, the only new pizzeria here. They were gonna open in another town slash city, but they didn't get far. So and that one, you guys heard me tell stories about the managers and all that shit. So yeah, it was just like there's the pizzeria I worked at for a while. I think 3 months, four max. Good pay. But obviously my pay kind of went down. Not like I was earning 17 an hour. I was earning 17 an hour, but uh, it wasn't really reflecting that anymore because we were losing a lot of money. Obviously I quit after that one manager. You know what I mean. That new kitchen manager, I quit because of him. Left. You know. Then more months of job hunting until I worked at a Raising Cane's. That one I'll say because that's already a huge chain, like McDonald's, obviously. But anyways, I worked at a Raising Cane's for a little bit. Uh, Only that 1 month. I did not like that place, dude. The pay wasn't good. Hours were fucking totally random. Days were totally random. They sent me with McDonald's, but at least with that one, like I was just in high school. I still had to go to school, so obviously, at that time I had my son. And I needed more money than just $300, dude. What I mean? That was an hourly, dude. It was an hourly, 15 an hour, weekly, an hour. It's 300. What? I guess that's not outlandish. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But that pay just wasn't good, especially for someone that has, basically a family. It's just not good. But anyways, after that I quit. Then I went only this time only a few weeks. Cause in that this was, by the way, this was in December, so when I left Raising Cane's. So it was literally the next year. Um, this one I joined the warehouse, the very first warehouse I worked at. So yeah, I think there's a story time where I did about my boss, uh, how weird he was and all that. That was the only story time I've had. I have of them. There's other story time. There's two others, but they were really. To be fair, I could just tell both of them in a short or something. But anyways, yeah, that was my longest job I worked at, like a whole year. Also, for everyone saying I didn't put the pyramid scheme, I didn't put And I didn't put Raising Canes because those ones didn't last that long. I wasn't gonna put them. I wasn't gonna put them nah, I'm good. Anyways, the warehouse I worked at, that was a really good job. You know what I mean? Went from I actually applied to it before, but they just didn't hire me. At that time, they were paying 15 an hour. But then the next time I did a second interview, and since I came back the second time, they were like, "All right, this kid really wants to work, so we're gonna hire him." And they raised the pay up from the first um, time. So it was 16 an hour now. So I was getting 16 an hour, a weekly pay, but this time it was like full hours. Like it was just Monday to Friday, morning, all the way to 4. So it was like 8 to 4, basically. um, and I was off Saturday and Sundays, and then we had holidays off and all that stuff. And that was a really good job. I love that. That was my favorite job. Like supervisors and managers are all nice. Literally best bosses I've ever had in my life. Like it was really amazing. Amazing coworkers too. Obviously, not every warehouse is gonna be like that. So let me just let you guys know that real quick. If you're thinking about going into warehouse work, all right, it's some warehouse work is easy. Some of it is not. I found a good job that I really wanted to stay at. It was really easy. Pay was good. When I left, I was at 18.50 an hour, dude. Because I got a 90-day review. After I got a dollar raise from that, so I went from 16 to 17. Then after it reached the halfway point of the year, so like in like June, it was like in the halfway point of June too. So it was like June 17th. I remember this clearly. I got a promotion, so I got a new position, and that pumped my pay up by 50 cents. So I was getting paid 17.50 an hour, and then by the time I left, I got another 50-cent raise, and that bumped my pay up to 18.50 an hour. But I didn't stay long enough to get that check with the 18.50 an hour. So the reason I didn't stay was because at that time uh, I just had my daughter. My daughter was literally born after that, and I wanted to look for a job that basically paid more. Now I was getting paid 790 something dollars, so almost 800. Pretty good, especially for weekly. You know what I mean? It's every week, 4 weeks in a month, so that's pretty good. Um, and I wish I stayed at that job. I really regret it, especially after what happened. What happened next, dude? God, I really regret it. I wish I stayed at the job. We were struggling so long. I was struggling so long, dude. My kids, my fiance, they were struggling. Well, my kids were fine. They didn't know what was happening. Luckily, from me and my fiance, kind of sheltered them, especially with my daughter since she was the youngest, especially my son since he was older and become more aware of things. Um, if you find a good job, by the way, guys, like literally don't leave it, alright? Like just don't, alright? Sure, there's that one thing you hate about that job, but like if there's that one thing you hate about a job, then just stay at the job, man. It's just that one thing to just stay. Just stay. Just stay. Um, but yeah, that job was really good. I was like yearly raise. It was a yearly raise. You know what I mean? Is depending on performance, you get from $1.25 or 50 cents, a 50-cent raise, and all that stuff. And it was amazing, man. Everyone was nice. It was chill. It was really relaxed there. wasn't too crazy, and it was just like the best job I ever had. Um, but anyways, now there's but I quit and like yeah, like literally at the end of February. So at the end of February was literally my last day, and then I basically went into like a solar company. Uh, this wasn't this wasn't a pyramid scheme or anything. No, I was actually working in the building of the company and all that. I was cold calling, and that job, it was all right. You know what I mean? I didn't really know how to deal with customers like that on the phone. Deal with customers with McDonald's. Didn't really deal with any customers at Raising Cane's because I was always in the back. I never did register or the drive through. Um, and well, with the pizza place, I was a dishwasher, so didn't really deal with customers unless I went to the bathroom for a little bathroom break, or I went on break, or I took out the trash. You know, so yeah, I didn't really deal with any customers since McDonald's. So so um especially through the phone, I never did that before. And this is besides a pyramid scheme because there was only a few people I called, and most of those was like a past coworker and family. You know what I mean? So I didn't really again, I didn't deal with that much. So it was really difficult for me, but it was only a week. I only worked there for a week. No, I didn't quit. I got fired. It was really fucked up because again, I just had my daughter, and I just left it a good job, and I text and I didn't text. No, the the boss who hired me, who was in charge of basically of us, people who were calling, uh, that guy on that Friday, he he was literally gonna drive me home and was telling me like basically like inspiring me, you know what I mean? Trying to uplift me, oh, you're a really hard worker. You know what I mean. I see potential in you. You know what I mean. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna get there. You're gonna make lots of money. And then, because it was the same thing basically. Like the hours were good too. It was basically the same type of hours as the warehouse and the same days basically. You know what I mean? So I was Monday to Friday morning to you know uh, early afternoon, and then I'm off Saturday and Sundays. You know what I mean? So it was basically that. But I woke up that Saturday, and I got a text. I had a text from that boss. He was basically saying like, "Hey, sorry, I have to let you go. You're not really meeting our standards." I'm like, "What? Are you serious?" So, so yeah, they let me go, and it really sucked. But what can you do, man? What can you do? You know what I mean? It's not like I can barge in there. You know, I can't really barge in there. So, yeah. After that, I went on a little more job hunting. I think the next month I found a job. So again, it was taking a while, but it was taking a while, but also wasn't. You know what I mean? But the problem was, all right, so I got another warehouse job, which was good. It was good. I wanted warehouse work. Okay, that's mainly what I was looking for. It was a Keurig Dr Pepper. All right, I'm gonna say that because they're a big company, so it's Keurig Dr Pepper. I'm not really gonna badmouth them or anything because I understand why. Because they fired me, and I understand why they had to let me go. And really, it was kind of my. I should have done what I did earlier, but I didn't. I was like I should have done it while I was working at the previous warehouse. But anyways, I found it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of dumb. I didn't know passports expired. Because I only used it once in my life, so I didn't really um but anyways, I guess they didn't really know it was expired at that time, and obviously I was hired. I was already working. First week I was working. It was pretty easy. Uh, bending over a lot, dude. My God, dude. Um, but it was easy work. It was also, was it weekly? I don't know if it was weekly or bi. No, yeah, it was weekly. It was a pretty good starting pay. It was like 19.50 an hour. So that was good. I was getting paid more than even if it was just $1 more than my previous warehouse work. So that's pretty good. But I never got paid. Never got that check or anything. Um. Yeah. Uh. So basically, obviously my passport was expired. They only gave me 2 days to get basically a new ID because I was holding off on that a lot, so I didn't have my new ID yet. I was past 20. I was past 21 at that point, so obviously I didn't have my new ID, but also get basically like my social security card. I mean, I had my number, I just didn't have my card. But anyway, I finally have both my social security and my ID, so that's good. Uh, but anyways, yeah, they had to let me go because of that. Especially since this was basically the peak and the start of when ICE was kind of doing their thing. Uh, so you got to be cautious and shit. I understand. It's whatever. Didn't get paid for that solar one either. By the way, sucked. Whole week of working free labor. To be fair, it's not like I provided anything. I didn't get any like sales on it. So in that entire week, and that was just training. That wasn't even like an official work week. That was just like full on training. It was like a whole month of training, and they let me go. And then for this one, it was an actual official work week for me. So yeah, they the boss said, yeah, not the boss, the HR said, yeah, just look online again and reapply, and I did, and I did it. I kept opening it and looking at the actual website and stuff like that, to see if it was up, and it just wasn't. It was nowhere to be found, like literally nothing. So yeah, so yeah, that sucked. And after that is just 9 months, 8 months of struggle. During that 9, 8 month mark, we had to get food stamps, and it hurt me to just get food stamps because I didn't want food stamps. But we basically had to get it. We basically had to get it. My kids needed food, needed drinks. I needed to eat. My fiance needed to eat, especially if we need to take care of the kids. Yeah, especially if we need to take care of the kids. Obviously, we need our energy. My son, he was on solids now. He needed to eat. So, we also didn't have any water, and again, I live with my parents, but my mom didn't even get water. I don't mean like she got a lot of soda, no. I just mean like she barely got any drinks. They barely got any drinks, and it made it harder. Barely anything to drink, barely anything to drink, and mainly eggs. Obviously, we also had WIC before we got food stamps because of my daughter. You know what I mean? And that helped a little bit, especially with drinks. But yeah, so it was really hard. 9 months, 9 to 8 months. It was really hard. During that time, it really showed a lot. To be fair, every single time I was employed, before I talk about my previous job and then the job I'm working right now, before I talk about those, let me talk about just the unemployment and stuff. Because like obviously I was working my previous job, and then I literally quit that previous job and started immediately next day started working at this new job. So luckily I didn't go through a period of unemployment. I'm not gonna lie, I would have liked that, because he had a chance to my boss and my previous work had a chance to fire me. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? And I would have had 2-3 days to just relax before working. So I'm not gonna lie, I would have been like, oh, this is nice before I start working. But anyways, I didn't mind it though. Anyways, so let me talk about my unemployment through all that, and then I'll keep talking about those 8 months, because those were those 8 to 9 months, because those were really the hardest. Obviously before food stamps, in those 2 to 1 month before I started working at my previous job. But yeah, let me talk about it real quick. So during the periods of me being unemployed, it's just obviously I'm looking, you know what I mean? So for high school, no one really cared as much. The only person who really cared after was my dad, and obviously after that I kind of started looking to focus looking on it, because he kind of had a point with my fiance and all that, living with us now, and just an extra mouth to feed. And you know what? At that point, all right, I gotta step up. I gotta be the man that can provide for her. You know what I mean? Especially since I want to marry her, and then obviously we had kids. We had 2 kids afterwards. So I had to step up. You know what I mean? If I didn't have her, I probably would have did what I planned to do, which was a year-long break, no working or anything, because high school was fucking tiring. I went through a lot, so it was what I mean? Let me have a break, you know what I mean? Anyways, so obviously it was just my dad mainly bugging me. Nobody was really judging me or anything about being unemployed that much. Obviously they were me, start working, start saving, and all that stuff. and all that stuff. Is like it was like while while I wasn't employed, you know what I mean. My dad treated me kind of like freeloader. It's like I wasn't like freeloading or anything. I mean, I was helping around the house. I wasn't eating everything. I wasn't drinking everything. There's still plenty of food and drink, especially my fiance. Afterwards, they basically treated me differently. Like, oh, okay, he's not freeloader no more. See, it's kind of. I'm not gonna. They're kind of hypocrites. I'm not gonna lie, because my sister was also working at the same place my mom was working at. Um, that's why I even mentioned I was working with my older sister. But afterwards, after I left, my mom got a better job opportunity with better pay and better hours and all that stuff. So my sister didn't want to work there alone. So she quit. And after that, she never worked again. And my dad, first few months, nagged her about it. Look for work, look for work, look for work. Especially since at that point in time, she did have 2 kids. My nephew, who was 4 at the time, and, 4. I think it was he was 4. Wait, he was either 3 or 4. I forget. But anyways, it was my nephew, and then there was my niece, who was the same age as my son. So she just had her second kid alongside me and my fiance. And after a while, he just stopped nagging my sister. You know what I mean? And after a while, obviously, my niece was able to. It got obviously, my niece could eat solids and drink different liquids now. And they never nagged, and they still never nagged her anymore about looking for work. Unlike me, which after that, after the whole pyramid scheme, where I went to looking for work, they kept nagging me and nagging me and nagging me, and then obviously, I got that job, and again they stopped nagging me and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And again started treating me like I wasn't a freeloader again. Like they were basically treating me like I was a freeloader every time I lost my job, basically. Um, yeah, my sister still hasn't worked, and she's still not working. But to this day, right now. Anyways, then after I left that pizzeria again, they were nagging me and nagging me and nagging me. And here's the thing, I told them a lot that I was looking for work. It's just no one's getting back to me. You know what I mean? And people are ghosting me and all that stuff. And yes, I go into an interview, but they just never get back to me. But they think it's like I'm kind of the problem that doing this or that. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of jobs, they want you to apply online now. Like, they're not all walk-ins or anything like that. A lot of them are online only. Like my first warehouse job, they only hired on Indeed. Like, they only hired on Indeed. You go on their website, nothing. Alright, you try to go in their building, there's gonna be nothing like that. Alright. They could probably do that with McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Raising Cane's, you know what I mean? All that fast food stuff. But 100%, like, corporate buildings or anything like that, you're like it's gonna be online. Hell, Walmart. I tried to apply to Walmart, and they just said apply online. Apply online. I'm like, bruh, yeah, apply online. Sometimes they would be fast food places would be like that. Um. Anyways, after that, that pizzeria, again, I went months until December. Um, Working at Raising Cane's, and again, I was treated as a freeloader. I was treated like I'm not trying to look for work. I just want to be lazy. Um, and like I don't know, I could just keep repeating myself to them. I don't really want to keep repeating myself to them. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? You know, and I didn't really argue with them or anything. I could try to explain it, but like they're just gonna say this or that. So I just, you know what I mean? Like, well, what am I supposed to do? All I say is that I'm looking, trying, I'm applying. That's all I say to them, and it's just they don't believe me. But anyways, I did Raising Cane's, and then they went on a 3-week vacation for winter break. So they weren't home. They were in Mexico. So they went to Mexico. So they weren't home at all. And basically had a whole house to myself. After that, again at the end of December, I quit. And, I was looking fast. And I didn't even tell them because I didn't want to be judged again. I hate being judged by them so much. It's annoying. It's like arguments. It's like a disappointment, you know. And then I finally found my warehouse job, and then I told them like, yeah, I quit, but I have this new job now, and they didn't bother me. They didn't say anything. I was like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And I worked there for a whole year. You know what I mean? No problems or anything. And then there was and then there was me quitting, and then already having a job lined up again, and then that one fell through, and then there was a month. Luckily, they didn't say anything for that month. But then there was the warehouse job. They were like, all right, cool. But then after that fell through, and then there was that. Again, it was hard. Let me say this, like it was really hard after losing that one job after the warehouse. It was really hard because I basically had no more money. Right? My last check wasn't that much from my warehouse job. Mainly because I kind of went over my vacation and overtime and everything like that. So I had to take some payout. So I had like 300 left. I had 300 on my last check, which wasn't really enough for anything really. Luckily tax was coming up, so luckily I got that. And obviously most money I ever had, around like 1,000, but not 1,000, 4,000. I mean, you know what I mean, like almost 5,000 basically. Obviously I didn't spend it on useless shit. Obviously, tried to make it last. Just fucking stocked up on food, drinks, 2 boxes of diapers, 2 boxes boxes of baby wipes. You know what I mean? Made sure we were good for a while. Um, and well, it didn't last long. None of that last long. The money didn't last long. The food and drinks didn't last long. Because it took longer than I thought to find a job. And then when it got to the 2 to 1 month mark, towards the end where I finally found a new job, we got food stamps because we were just struggling. Right? My mom, my dad, they were bugging me again, acting like I was a freeloader and stuff, while they were watching me suffer with no food or drinks, just watching me suffer. I was already feeling down, like I was a failure. I was already feeling like I was a failure because I couldn't provide for my family. You know what I mean? The family I created, I couldn't provide for. I couldn't provide for my son, my daughter, and my fiance. You know what I mean? Like crying almost every night. It was just tough. You know, but people looking at me like I'm a problem and shit like that. Um, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm trying. A lot of places just want to hire online only. I don't know what else you want me to do. But yeah, I suffered through all that. Finally got food stamps and didn't suffer as much anymore, especially since we had food and drinks now. Um, but I still needed money. You know what I mean? I need to work. I need to get out of the house. You know. And no, not like also like not saying this so I can get away from my kids either, because I love my kids. I want to work so I can provide it. They need clothes. They're growing. You know what I mean? They need diapers. Food stamps isn't gonna buy their diapers. Isn't gonna buy their baby wipes. You know what I mean? You know, my mom, at that point in time before food stamps, she was already annoyed about buying us uh, diapers and baby wipes. And the diapers, I understand, they're really expensive, and baby wipes are also pretty expensive sometimes. But like, we got like a 3 pack, right? We only had her buy the 3 pack of baby wipes. You know what I mean? So she was just annoyed about buying those now. So you know, I needed to work. I had to work, bro. And well, there was a night. So I was hanging out with some friends. You know, I mean, the boys basically. I was hanging out with the boys. You know, we were at the mall. You know, before anyone says, I talked to my girl about it, and no, she's not my mom, but like, you know, she was basically had to be home alone, taking care of both of her kids, and she was like, yeah, go ahead. Besides, you know, I needed a break. You know what I mean? Later, I had her go take a break with some of her friends. You know what I mean? It's a good trade-off deal, right? Like that. Um, and I got a call. Well, no, I didn't get a call. No, I had an interview that day. Yeah, I had an interview that day, and this was the job. Where's the one that I quit? It's my recent previous job. This is basically where I finally start working that job. Well, not start working, but basically I had my interview. I went ahead and went to that interview. You know, da 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 da, did it. You know, all right, but there we go. Then I went back to the mall to hang out with my buddies. Um, and the next day I get a call and they're like, yeah, like to have you on board. So I get hired. All right, cool. I finally start working. I finally start earning money. Let's do this, bro. Ugh. Yeah, I was working that job for like 5 months. Honestly, worked that job too long. Jesus, man, it's not what I wanted to do or anything. I hated it after a while, dude. You know, pay was pay varied. My days varied, my hours varied. Everything was changing. I don't mean like, yeah, I work like I would work like, yeah, 5 hours this day, 6 hours these days, and then 8 hours, 7 hours these days. And I know it was more like, yeah, you'll work 5 hours in 2 days for this week, and you're off 5 days. It's like, okay, the next week, all right, here you go. 3 days off, 4 days. Like, the lowest 400, the highest 700. This was a bi-weekly job. I was getting paid 16 an hour bi-weekly. So, and I applied for full time. I said it was full time, but nah, apparently I was part time the entire time, and that fucking sucked. Apparently everyone was fucking part time. But Jesus, man, good coworkers, terrible job. The boss was in. I was like, all right, buddy, you keep doing what you're doing. I guess I don't care. But yeah, I was like, I had to get out of there. I remember my 1 week I worked 2 days. I was off 5 days, and the next week I was working 2 days, off 6 days. So yeah, I didn't earn that. I didn't earn much that week. So, anyways, I finally found my recent job too. I finally found my recent job. I applied. They called me while I was at work. Luckily, it wasn't too busy, and I answered. I was like, hello, and then they set up a time. And it was like, all right, this and that. I was like, all right, well, I'll call you again so we can set up a time. It was an day. I'm like, all right, cool. I already told them the day I was off, so I was like, all right, and then they messaged me that day interview. I was like, fucking awesome, dude. Okay, cool. I'll be there. So I went. So then time went on. You know what I mean? Time went on. uh, as it got closer, you know what I mean? I was praying, I was hoping, and all that stuff. And I went to the interview. It was great. You know what I mean? It was a good interview. It really was. It was a good interview. Got to know basically my now boss. Met the HR guy who I was talking to on the phone. Everything was good. It was fantastic. Went smoothly. For once, I didn't stutter. I didn't, do so much ums and ers or us. You know what I mean? I still did them, but I didn't do as much. You know what I mean? I was getting better. Especially after so many interviews. Well, so many interviews. Barely had any interviews. During this stretch while working at this place, this was the most I've ever been ghosted. I only had like 2 interviews tops while working at my previous job. And then when they got to when it got to this job is when I finally started getting like at least rejections, at least. So I was like, okay, cool. Even now, I'm still getting rejections again. It was like, bruh, where were you guys before? Y'all just ghosting me. So anyways, yeah, I went to an interview and then I went home and that same day I literally had so this is what happened. I had in my head an imagination of, I don't know if you guys had this too, but it was like, oh, something happening, and then oh, you get like basically like a TV moment, you know what I mean? Like a cartoon moment. Basically, it's like I imagine them immediately calling me that same day that I had my interview when I got home. You know what I mean? I imagined that. I was like, all right. I was like, man, imagine. I was like talking to myself quietly. It was like I was imagining them calling me like, hey, you know what, we're gonna hire you and all that stuff. And I just told myself, imagine, you know what I mean, rolling my eyes, just fucking scoffing, because like when does that ever happen? I was looking at, and I was right there. I was looking at my phone, and you know what? I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, man, should I take my phone or not? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my phone. You know what I mean? You never know. Maybe I will get a call or a text message. So I took it, and I went out. The reason I was debating on it was because my fiance wanted help with laundry. So obviously, you know what I mean? So I was gonna help her hang up the laundry. So I went ahead and did that. And then when we got outside, I was helping her a little bit. I found my phone vibrating, and I saw, and I recognized the number because it was the same number he called me. He called me when I was at work. So it's like, oh shit, he called me. So I answered. He was literally, and my imagination came true, bro. It came true. It was like it was an amazing experience. It was just like, hey, so we're not gonna wait till, because it was a Thursday, so he wanted to wait till the next Monday. He wanted to wait till Monday, the next Monday, to call me. Because for one, they still had interviews. They still had other interviews, especially that day after me. So they had other interviews. And they wanted to see all their options and stuff. He told me that in person. I was like, okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? He was like, like obviously there's a bunch of companies ghosting. We're not gonna be like that. We're gonna tell you straight. We're gonna tell you straight up if you're hired or not. I was like, oh, okay, cool, appreciate it. You know what I mean? Just tell me, man. Just send me rejection, bro. I don't care if it's a fucking animated rejection email. Just send me something. Don't ghost. Anyways, and he called and he was like, I'm not gonna wait till Monday. I'm just gonna say right now, would you like to come in on Wednesday next week, so you can start work, so you can start training and working here? And he was like, would you like that? And when he said that, bro, my head went immediately to The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith and everything, where there was like, it's funny because obviously my name's Christopher, you know what I mean? So, and people usually just call me Chris, anyways. So obviously, it's like in that movie is the elderly man saying, talking to the lead, the main character, Chris, like, would you like that, Chris? And obviously, like, I didn't tear up, but I was fucking happy. I was like, but I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I would like that. I would like that. I was like, I would love to work there. And he was like, okay, good. I'm gonna send you an email of some stuff for you to fill out and do. Uh, uh, and I'll see you Wednesday. I'm like fucking A, bro. He's like, show up at like 7:30. I'm like, okay, cool, man. I'll do that. Wait, no. He was gonna do. I sent him all the paperwork that same day, and then he was gonna do a background check. And then he called me and said, "Yeah, the background check complete." I think the next day or on Monday. He was like, "Yeah, coming at 7:30." Yeah. I remember. And man, it was amazing, dude. It was amazing. You know what I mean? I prayed. My fiance prayed. You know what I mean? We both prayed so hard, dude, so I can like get a new job, because I was just tired at this place. It wore me. Like, I was exhausted. I was worn out. You know what I mean? I didn't want to work there no more, bro. I didn't want to work there no more. But luckily this happened, and I got the job, man. I got the job. And it's already been like, was it 2 months? 3? I think 3 months. But yeah, though. But yeah, though, I've been here for a while. I've been working for a while. This new job for a while now. It's been nice, man. It's been really nice. And yeah, I haven't been unemployed in a while, but I've been working a lot. I'm grateful. I just got a raise, bro. My birthday passed, bro. I'm 23 now. You know what I mean? We got good friends, and luckily this job is pretty easy too. It's pretty nice. It's pretty smooth. My bosses and coworkers, they're all nice. They're all chill. You know what I mean? It's really nice, man. You know what I mean? Monday to Friday, except on the weeks I get paid. Because I'm off on Friday, but I work on Saturdays, but the Saturdays are half days. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, man. Everything's pretty nice, man. Everything's chill. It's relaxed. I'm relaxed. I have 3 days off right now, dude, because of the 4th of July. Which is why I'm even making this video, because I think this is a good chance for me to fully talk about my employment history, instead of just shorts, because the shorts were mainly just stuff that happened at those jobs. You know what I mean? I mean, nothing has happened that crazy while I worked at my previous job. But also, obviously, I just started the job working out. I'm working at now, and it's really chill there. I don't think anything's crazy really is gonna happen. But yeah, though, you know what I mean? Anyways, there is one story time I really want to talk about, but I'm gonna say that for like the next video. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share if y'all want more videos. Especially more videos of me rambling, bro. Comment some topics below if you want me to like research or just talk about it, y'all. I like the way I talk and stuff. You know what I mean? Let me know, alright? Legit. Honestly, the reason I wanted to do this video, especially this type right now, with me rambling about it, about like my job history and stuff, because obviously, for one of my inspirations is Zach Rios. He talks a lot about the job listings and TikTok firings, getting fired by TikToks, and also mass layoffs and stuff like that. And that like, uh, and also the obviously employment and stuff going around. So I watched a lot of his videos while I was unemployed and obviously employed at my previous job. Oh my god. Luckily, I stuck it out until I got this job. But anyways, it was him, and then obviously I want to do more videos. And I think this is a good way for me to actually do more videos because I just want to talk about some of the stuff I'm really like passionate about, but and also like want to ramble about, obviously. And because of that, I watched one of the podcasts, the Unsubscribed podcast. That one I watched, bro. Say hi to Eli. With the inspirational like stories of what they go through and stuff like that. Besides that, it's also like Wendigoon. I watched Wendigoon's story. Not stories, but still technically yes, stories. But I watched his videos, listened to his videos, how he talks and everything. I kind of want to do that, but obviously my own style. For instance, right now, I think this is a good setup for me right here, because I actually do plan on getting a whiteboard right here, so that way I can draw some stuff. Because there's some stuff I want to talk about, and to do that, I want to illustrate like some stuff for you guys on the board. I do have a board. Luckily, it doesn't need to wait that long. I'll probably do it in the morning. I don't know. I'm off this whole week. So, but anyways, yeah. Again, hopefully y'all like this video. Hopefully y'all love this video. Hopefully y'all like it. All right. Again, like, subscribe, share, comment down below. You know, what do you guys want me to talk about? What do you guys want me to ramble about? You know what I mean? And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. See y'all later. Bye.